Where people doubt or where people discourage is when they think your dreams and goals are going to leave them in the dust. I don't think they've bought into your goals and dreams because I don't think you've let them know who you are.
So I received a question on Instagram that kind of inspired me to try to address it. Out of respect for the person, I'm going to keep them anonymous, but they did find it in their heart to message me, and I'm very grateful for that. I'll go ahead and read the question and then kind of give my perspective on it. Hopefully, I can try to help and dissect this situation. All right, so here's the question. Hi, I respect your view on family, but people are small-minded nowadays. I want to go tunnel vision and get things done and prove my doubters wrong. You talk about family, but what if my parents are the ones who doubt me or discourage what I want to do in life? First of all, again, thank you for the question. I relate to this, not that my parents were doubters, not that my family were the ones that doubted me, but I was told and encouraged to do something that I didn't feel like was in my heart, to be honest with you. If you've seen my page, I'm a nurse. I'm a registered nurse in Southern California. I jumped into nursing school way back in 2009, graduated in 2012. Now I am a nurse educator, and I love what I do. Now, did it start that way? No. I'm going to be 100% honest. And if those that know me that are listening to this, I don't think we've had this conversation about it. I don't talk about it a lot, but I did not want to be a nurse. It's a very honorable and respectful position to have to help people and to preserve life, right? But I was encouraged to go into nursing, and I didn't want to. This is not something that I felt like was my calling in life. I know a lot of people say that their calling in life was to be a nurse or anything in the medical field, and I respect that completely. I work with amazing people, amazing nurses, anyone in the medical field, in the healthcare field that loves their path. I respect them so much. I support them so much. There are people that are called to do it, and honestly, when I was encouraged by my family, it's really because, I don't know if you could tell, but I'm Filipino, and a lot of us as Filipinos are encouraged to jump into the medical field. Nurses there's a high percentage of Filipinos in nursing, for one, because we're very hospitable people. We're very dedicated to helping others, just like every other culture, every other race or ethnicity. But honestly, I listened to my parents. I listened to my grandmother when they said, go into nursing because it's a very stable position, it's good money, and you're helping people. It's service. Even if I didn't want to at the time, what I was more interested in was being open to the path. I had a good episode on the Broken Instruments podcast with my good brother, Neiman. He's a professor out in Cal State Fullerton. And I asked him something that relates to this. I asked him, what do you do when someone doesn't know what to do? And his encouragement was to move, to gain experience. And this is how our perspective was back then. I was in my early 20s when I didn't know what to do. I was in community college. And I like a group of us and my brothers and my friends, we're always focused on, just getting experience. Just do something. And I felt like at the time nursing was like a low-hanging fruit. I was kind of like, all right, well, it's tough, but it's there. I could just do it. So I jumped into nursing. Going through nursing school, it was tough, and I didn't enjoy it, right? I struggled through nursing school. It was not, when you're not passionate about something at that time, it's not easy to just keep tacking on, all the pressure and testing and all that stuff. So I stuck through it, and the best thing that I realized going through nursing school was, yes, I'm serving people, and I'm giving of myself to serve people. However, I found even more that I loved it. I encountered so many people. I developed skill sets in working with people. And, even right now, I'm a nurse educator right now. I'm off the floor completely, and that's a whole different story. But when I have aspiring nurses come in, some of them have this question that you have. Some of them don't want to do nursing, but they're in it for some other reason. whatever reason that is, I try to encourage them to stick to the path, right? Now, what you're saying here is there's a lot of people that doubt you or discourage what you want to do in life. This is happening all the time now. We don't, I mean, it's that classic parents don't understand. And then the parents saying, I can't relate to my kids. And my answer would be a question. I know people hate that, but what kind of relationship do you have to your parents? I think one thing nowadays is there's a lack of good relationship. Now I'm not judging, but based on your approach here, it's almost like my question is: do they know you? How well do people know you? And I always relate it back to the relationship that you have with certain people, especially with your family. Even right now, there's things that I'm doing right now that, I know people that know me, especially your closest inner circle, are kind of like, all right, let's see what this guy can do. Let's see if he's gonna do it, or if he's just gonna fall back on whatever plan he had already in the past. And I mean, at this point, I've gone through so many different paths and try to tackle so many things and projects and inspirations. I'm open to completely failing. I think the close relationships that I have with people are close enough that they know that you put me in any situation, I will come out better than I was going in. And I think that's important for us to actually ingrain in us, though. People won't just believe this. Even right now, when I got married in 2018, there's things that I planned out, there's things that I said I was going to do, and I didn't follow through, right? Some people discouraged me to it. Some people supported me, but kind of like, all right, well, let's see. At that point, who you are, it's not what you do as a job. It's not what you do as work. Who you are should remain the same. If you completely know that you are going to succeed at this, then you will prove them wrong, right? Why are you afraid to jump? I think this is the problem, though. What this really brings up for me is that there's a time where I went ice cold. I went tunnel vision too, and I went hard on my path, the lone wolf mentality. And at that point, it was more of no one understands the path that I'm on, and I'm going to show them. I shut up for a few years. I left social media. I closed everything off, and I focused on one thing: starting a family, doing what I had to do, working as many jobs as possible, making as much money as possible so that we can have our wedding, so that we can find a new home for us. And not a lot of people will support that, of course, but they don't have to know the work that goes in. They do see the results. They don't know how hard you had to work. And part of me, because we have ego, right? Part of me wanted to boast about it. Part of me wanted to let people know how hard I work, let people know how much I did. But that doesn't serve you. You're at that point, you're talking before you're walking. And something in me, and I think is part of what my family explained to me, what my parents taught me, was to walk first, talk later. And a lot of times, especially with social media nowadays, we want to broadcast our goals and our dreams on there. We want that validation, that social validation, that social confirmation that, oh yeah, see, like, this is what I'm doing. And it's almost like because we want to gain respect, right? I left social media for a reason. Is because I didn't want the noise. I didn't want the doubters. I didn't want people hearing my dreams and goals and then judging them before I even accomplish them. So now I come back to social media for things like this, for the podcast, for exploring and spreading ideas about things that I feel like are important in life, like family. Now, the issue I'm having now is like, yeah, there's a lot of, it's coming back, right? A lot of doubt, a lot of judgment. And it reminds me of why I left social media from the beginning. Now, with this whole path on social media and walking before talking, I told myself, especially when I was in that kind of relentless mode, was to walk so hard that people have to ask you to talk about what you do. And I took that with like work. I took that with faith and anything in my path that I knew was part of me, that was like part of the soul of me. It's walk so hard that people have to ask you. And I think that was ingrained to me by like my church, the Catholic faith. We try to live the life rather than talk about living the life. People look at that as like you're hiding, you're holding out, but they'll understand, especially when you have the results to back it up, right? Now, I'm not saying I'm fully accomplished. I'm not saying I'm resting on my laurels now. I'm even more fired up now because I have a family, because now I'm making changes that not only affect me, but they affect the people that depend on me. And now if people are doubting you, there is this element of, I'll show you. And that's 100% powerful. I will show people, I would show the doubters. Be careful though, because that's a double-edged sword where you're fired up, you're ambitious, but where does the loyalty lie? You might lose loyalty to your family. When you work hard on something and you're ambitious and you want to accomplish goals, I don't think you have to freeze out people. I don't think you have to burn people when you're on fire. I think it's important to note that you don't stop being you just because you're tackling your goals. The way I look at it now, and my wife is amazing. She supports me on everything I do. She's one of the greatest things that's ever happened to me, aside from my daughter. She knows I'm doing certain things now, and I'm kind of taking a leap. However, there's always this sense of like, all right, are we going to be okay though? So she never discourages me. For like, if anything, she encourages me, and I wonder why. Sometimes she supports me so much, like 100%. Not just because she's my wife, but how did I get her to buy in? I think that's where I'm getting to. Is that how much have they bought into your dreams? Have they bought into your goals? I think where people doubt or where people discourage is when they think your dreams and goals are going to leave them in the dust. Especially when we talk about family. A lot of our family, they want the best for us. And I'm 100% believe your parents want the best for you. I don't think they've bought into your goals and dreams because you haven't let them know. I don't think you've let them know who you are. As hard as that, that might be harsh, but I'm grateful that my family has a good open communication. And when I made changes in life, when I decided to do something, my parents respected that. And I don't think that they just respected me just because like, oh, that's what you should do, respect your children. I believe that my parents saw my results. My parents see that I'm making good changes in life. They see that I accomplish things, but I never forget where I came from. They see that I have ambitions and goals and dreams, but I always stay loyal to who I am and who my family is and what we represent. Now, do your goals and dreams support your family? Do your goals and dreams support your foundation of who you are? The foundation of the closest friends that you have? Are your goals and dreams for them too? When people see that your goals in life and that your dreams and everything you're working on, the changes you're making in life are to support them, that you're bettering yourself to support them, why would they discourage you? Now, this is a very common problem, and I really and I solely believe that there's a lack of good communication in families at this time especially. So now, if you sat down with your parents and told them, look, mom and dad, or anybody that doubts you, I will get this done. Not only is this going to make me happy in life, but it will make me a better person so that I can serve my family better, so that I can create a better life for not just me, but for you. How can someone say no to that? How can your parents say no to that? I think the issue is we might be looking at things selfishly. When someone doubts you, that eagerness to prove them wrong is partly ego. And I would say majority ego. When someone doubts us, it's almost like, all right, man, you know what? I'm going to show you. That's fine because we all have ego and ego is healthy. When I used to think, oh, no, like let go of your ego and, like whatever those, I think Eckhart Tolle has a book about a lot about presence, right? Being present. And like in the present moment, there's no ego. I don't believe anymore that there's zero ego. We have ego for a reason. Ego is a very healthy tool. So when we have a doubter, we use our ego to fuel us, right? To get it done. But when that ego swings too far that you're doing it only to prove people wrong, that's when you're losing yourself and no one wins in the end. Because what you did, you proved them wrong. Told you, right? Told you so. And then you spent so much time worrying about proving them wrong that, oh yeah, to get to the top of the mountain is not easy, but to stay at the top of the mountain is even harder. That was one thing. Coming up this success ladder or whatever, you don't realize like when you're walking up a mountain or a hill, you're climbing the staircase, when you get to a certain point, the oxygen level is thinner. It's less. So now you're having a hard time breathing up here. Now, because you're fighting through it and you're relentless in your approach, you're breathing hard. You don't realize, okay, how do I adjust to this and maintain and sustain this approach? Because at that time that we were going up the hill, a lot of our thinking is, I'm going to prove people wrong. I'm going to prove people wrong. I'm going to show them, shove it in their face. Shoved it in their face. Good. Done. Oh, shoot. I still got to work. I still got to consistently show up to do work every day. But I already shoved it in their face. What's lighting you up now? Filled your ego. Cool. Prove them wrong. Cool. Now we're struggling to find motivation. Now we're struggling to find inspiration, drive to make us push forward. And I come from this place of using my ego to get me to a certain point, but understanding how to sustain that. And everything that I post, everything that I write, everything that I preach when I work with my students is fight for something bigger than you. Fight for something bigger than your ego. Because I'm so focused on proving people wrong rather than doing the diligent, consistent, hard work, proving people right, for serving people rightly, consistently. I don't have the engine and the fuel anymore. So what I do, I create problems and then I need to boost my ego again and fight for ego, fight with my ego. And that's not a healthy cycle. Being confident is good. It's not cocky. It's not boastful. It's not only will I show you, but you will benefit and you will feel the difference in me and you will feel the benefit of who I will become, of who I'm becoming, or who I became. You will feel the difference in a healthy way. That's how we should look at these situations. To work hard to provide more, to serve people more. That's what we have to focus on. You know, like you'll only go so far to prove doubters wrong. Now, earlier I mentioned, family communication. I think that's one of the biggest problems that we have nowadays. People don't sit and talk with their families anymore. Especially this younger generation, and I'm part of the younger generation, I guess people assume. But there's one thing that I learned working as a nurse, especially in mental health. Family communication is one of the most essential things that a family should have. The people that I work with on the floor, in mental health facilities, the pattern that I see is that families do not communicate well anymore. It's perspectives like this where, you know, like we don't match dreams anymore. Our goals have to be matching. We have to have one collective goal as a family. Not I have a goal for me and you have a goal for you, and it's like, all right, like we'll just see. Sit down with your family. Talk to them. Sit down with your parents. Let them know who you are. Let them know your dreams. Let them know your real dreams, the ones that are deep within, that aren't just for you. Because I'm pretty sure your dreams are for greater things, bigger things, more beneficial things than serving yourself. Let them know that. And at that point, I would safely assume that they'll believe you, that they will trust you in your path, and they would encourage you. They wouldn't doubt you anymore because you let them know who you are. This is who I am, mom and dad. I will show you, I will prove it to you. Not only will I show you and prove it to you, I won't shove it in your face. I will carry you with me. And I think that's what brings health back to family relationships. Now, again, thank you for your question. It really inspired me to stay on this path. I want to bring families back together. I want to restore good communication in the homes. Everything that I have experienced in my past, working with people or being with my family, I think it's more critical now than ever before. So thank you for the question. Thank you for inspiring me and motivating me to speak out more about family. These ideas are not just mine. I'm a collection of authors, mentors, thought leaders. I'm a collection of people struggling with mental health, people serving in mental health. I'm a collection of failures and successes. I'm a collection of ego and giving of myself. Like I'm everything. I'm a collection of everything. I think we're all collections of everything. And at this point, how can we serve more? How can we do more for people? How can you live a life of taking action for things greater than us?